Indonesia kembali menjadi sorotan dunia. Setelah merayakan hari ulang tahunnya yang ke-80, perhatian global kini tertuju pada aksi demonstrasi besar-besaran yang mengguncang tanah air. Tagar tentang demo Indonesia bahkan berhasil menembus trending nomor 1 dunia di berbagai platform media sosial. Fenomena ini bukan hanya dibicarakan oleh masyarakat Indonesia, tetapi juga mengundang respons dari warga mancanegara. Banyak yang mengungkapkan keterkejutannya. Tak sedikit pula yang kagum dengan keberanian rakyat Indonesia dalam menyuarakan aspirasi. Media internasional ramai memberitakan situasi di Jakarta dan kota-kota besar lainnya, menjadikan Indonesia pusat perbincangan global. Tak hanya dari luar negeri, para ekspatriat dan wisatawan asing yang tengah berada di Indonesia juga tak luput memberikan pandangan mereka. Banyak bule mengaku terkejut sekaligus takjub melihat bagaimana rakyat Indonesia bersatu dalam jumlah masif, menuntut perubahan dan keadilan sosial. Bagi mereka, pemandangan ini jarang ditemui di negara lain, apalagi dengan skala sebesar yang terjadi di Indonesia. Gelombang demo yang bertepatan setelah momentum HUT ke-80 Indonesia dianggap sebagai simbol bahwa rakyat tidak hanya merayakan kemerdekaan secara seremonial, tetapi juga terus berjuang agar nilai-nilai demokrasi dan keadilan benar-benar terwujud. Dunia kini menunggu, bagaimana langkah pemerintah Indonesia merespons tuntutan rakyatnya.
Sudah berapa hari aku melihat video seperti gini tentang apa yang terjadi di Indonesia dan bikin aku sangat sedih dan patah hati tentang situasi ini. Semuanya kata-kata hilang dari kepala aku, kayak kok bisa terjadi sampai gini ya. Saya berduka cita atas meninggalnya teman kita, sopir Gojek tersebut. Kalian tetap aman dan jangan sampai radikal. Dan berdoa saja untuk semuanya.
If you love traveling or vacationing anywhere in Indonesia like Bali, you should probably know why most of Indonesia, or at least most of Jakarta, is protesting right now. And even in most major cities outside of Jakarta, because every headline that you'll read about these protests in the West are probably going to be about how the protests are incredibly violent and people are rioting. When the protests started, because parliament members are receiving like around $3,000 in housing, just for housing outside of their salary, which $3,000 in Indonesia is a ton of money. And outside of that, people in Indonesia are suffering from insane inflation and insane cost of living. And then during these protests, I think during the weekend, during one of the protests, a Gojek rider who was delivering food was hit by a riot police car, and once the police car hit the driver, the police car kept going and ran him over again, and the Gojek driver died. And if you've ever visited Indonesia, you know that Gojek and Grab drivers are basically like the backbone of the country. And so when you read these headlines about how protesters are rioting and they're violent, this is why they're protesting, and this is what the police do when they're supposed to be protecting the citizens, but instead they protect the people in power.
Jika dilihat dari perbandingan global, gaji anggota parlemen di Indonesia tercatat sebagai yang paling tinggi di dunia, bahkan melampaui negara-negara maju sekalipun. Fakta ini menjadi ironis sekaligus aib bagi bangsa Indonesia. Pasalnya, jurang kesenjangan antara penghasilan rakyat biasa dengan para pejabatnya begitu lebar dan mencolok. Kondisi ini membuat banyak kalangan internasional, khususnya dari negara-negara barat, merasa terkejut. Mereka menilai wajar apabila rakyat Indonesia marah dan meluapkan kekecewaan atas ketidakadilan yang terjadi. Sebab, di satu sisi masyarakat masih berjuang menghadapi kesulitan ekonomi, sementara di sisi lain para wakil rakyat justru menikmati fasilitas dan gaji super mewah. Fenomena ini mempertegas adanya ketidakselarasan antara prinsip keadilan sosial yang seharusnya dijunjung tinggi, dengan realitas kesejahteraan yang timpang di dalam negeri.
Miris banget gue ngeliat perbandingan gaji DPR sama UMR masyarakat. Nih misal, gaji DPR di Amerika 200 juta rupiah, tapi UMR rata-rata masyarakat 64 juta rupiah. Jadi kurang lebih 3 kali lipat lebih besar dari UMR masyarakatnya. Sama kayak Singapura, gaji DPR-nya 200 juta tapi UMR-nya 55 juta. Lah ini Indonesia ngaco banget anjir. Gaji DPR-nya 100 juta tapi UMR kita cuma 3 jutaan. Berarti gaji DPR 27 kali lipat lebih gede dari UMR masyarakat cuy. Sedangkan negara di belahan dunia yang lain pun gak ada yang sampai 27 kali lipat lebih gede. Aduh, kacau banget cuy, gue baru sadar. Menurut kalian gimana? Coba komen ya.
We're going to talk about some world news and what is happening in Indonesia. Student-led protests have erupted in opposition to the government. The protests started because over 580 parliamentarians were given housing allowances, which are the equivalent of $3,000 a month. And that is on top of their salaries. The housing allowance on its own would be 20 times the minimum wage in poor areas of the country. According to the World Bank, 68% of Indonesia's population, which is about 195 million people, live below the poverty line, earning about $8.30 USD per day. Indonesian government officials can take home anywhere in between 10 to 15,000 USD per month. In some areas, there has been reports that the government has failed to pay teachers and healthcare workers. Protests started last Monday with people demanding they cut the salaries of parliamentarians. On Thursday, a video surfaced of a man who was making a food delivery on a motorcycle when an armored police vehicle ran over him. He was not a part of the protest and was literally just working and trying to make a living and trying to survive. Obviously, he died. And on Friday, the protests intensified across the country with people burning cars and buildings. Protesters stormed the governor's office compound in the second largest city of the country. Protesters fought the security with fireworks and wooden clubs. And then 3 people died when the legislature building was set fire in Makassar. It's crazy times. I will keep you guys updated.
What happens when people have finally had enough? Look at Indonesia right now. Streets on fire, parliament buildings torched, people dead, and it all started with politicians stuffing their pockets while ordinary people can barely afford food. Here's the story. Indonesian lawmakers were exposed for awarding themselves some massive housing perks. Then in the protests that followed, a 21-year-old was killed after being run over by a police vehicle. The clip went viral and the whole country erupted. Buildings have been set ablaze, ministers' homes ransacked, and people are openly saying they don't trust the government anymore. But here's the thing, this isn't just over there. Strip away the language and flags, and what are people angry about? Corruption at the top, politicians living like kings, ordinary people crushed by rising costs and cuts. Sound familiar? Here in the UK we've had MPs claiming for duck ponds, second homes and eye-watering expenses while we're told to tighten our belts. We've got tax hikes and energy bills through the roof, food inflation, and the justice system that just feels broken. Now ask yourself, if people in Indonesia can snap like this, they can turn their anger into fire and flames. What's stopping that same level of fury building here? Could you ever imagine our parliament, our council buildings under siege from the very people they're supposed to serve? It might sound outrageous, but when enough people feel ignored, robbed and pushed to the brink, history shows it doesn't stay quiet for long. So, what do you think? Could we ever see scenes like Indonesia here in Britain? Or would the British public just carry on swallowing it? Let me know in the comments and follow for more news, views